Welcome to this channel. The channel is for educations and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So last week is a busy week for me. After I released many YouTubes last week, I got a lot of questions from our Wing Chun friends and traditional Chinese martial art friends. Also, friends from MMA asking me many different type of questions. The questions asked, if I sum it, is like, so what is this Anti Qing people do? Can you please elaborate and tell us more about the Anti Qing ancestor of the Wing Chun? And the second thing is about the inheritance, authentic inheritance, 正宗 of say Wing Chun. The third thing is about this internal qi, internal strength or jing, or the internal cultivations. And then there is questions about breathing. How come we never heard about this breathing? So today I like to share with you. This is a pretty long sharing, and please watch it with 1.7x of speed to save you time. No, unless when you want to clearly know what I'm talking about, so you can zoom it in, slow it down. So let's go for it. So hopefully after today, you have a proper understanding in what is going on in Chinese Kung Fu, okay? And also Chinese culture, because Chinese culture, Chinese Kung Fu is not what most of the people think today. Now, the first thing is the ancestor of the Wing Chun is an Anti Qing. So they are in the opera. They belongs to this Anti Qing group. Like today in the United States of America, we have this Chinese Freemasons. And it is the Chinese Freemasons who support Dr. Sun Yat-sen, to overturn the Qing dynasty, and that turned into today's modern China. Okay, so the philosophy or the belief of the Anti-Qing is this is in Chinese, 忠孝仁义，执政大功. Okay, so if I use Google to translate it, it is royalty, filial piety, okay, benevolence, righteousness, and uprightness. So the Anti-Qing's belief is this: royalty, filial piety, benevolence, and righteousness, and uprightness. Okay. So you might ask, so what does royalty mean in the real life example? Well, if we look at Grandmaster Yip Man before he passed away, he go to public, he said that Wing Chun praise spring is not eternal spring. That is the royalty to the Wing Chun. Okay. The righteousness and uprightness is, again, if you heard about the Grandmaster Yip Man story, that even somebody offer him to pay him, like to exchange, like give him a lot of money to tape him, videotape his art. He turned it down. He rejected. That is righteousness and uprightness. That is meaning I don't, maybe perhaps I don't have the money, I am poor or I'm not as good, but I'm not going to sell off my art. So I don't know Grandmaster Hitman, but from these two counts, the royalty and the righteousness and the uprightness, this is the person's, if you are the anti-Qing or the ancient Chinese, you respect them, okay? So the red boat, so there's a red boat. Opera is the opera group that they are on the boat, and then they go different place in say in the Wing Chun case, in the different villages in Canton to play to sing the opera. Now, we need to be careful. At that time, in the ancient, most people in China is illiterate. So what does the opera play there? When they go to different villages, what all the drama they play for these villagers who is illiterate is about royalty, filial piety, benevolence, righteousness, and uprightness. And they usually play the drama is about the history record, which present the royalty, filial piety, and uprightness and righteousness, so that the people is educated properly. For example, my grandma, she's illiterate, but she knows Chinese history. She knows what is royalty, filial piety, all these things, righteousness, uprightness, what we should do, what we must not do. It's from where? It's from this opera. So when I was young, like 3, 4, 5 years old, my grandma always brought me to watch the opera. And in the opera, it is always talk about royal general and really righteous people. So the Red Boat Opera is a center of education to teach people proper things, to educate the people. It is very different than today's movies, where you just stimulate the sensory organs, okay? It is about education. So even though people is undereducated, so they learn about the history of China, what is the proper behavior, and so forth. And so I hope that you guys know now that anti-Qing is not like the kill, kill, bang, bang, or who is have the bigger fish, or I talk with your fist, not talk with your mouth. It's not that. It's about royalty and a lot of things, the quality of human. Okay? So that's a part of Chinese culture. Now, so we settled that about what is the anti-Qing belief in, what is our Red Boat ancestor, the actor in the Red Boat do. Okay, so this is what it is. Okay. So if you want to know more about the Chinese history, go to the proper, like in America, Chinese Freemason, the proper one, not the one which is not following the history. Then you can understand what is this about. Okay, it's not about fighting. It's about people. Okay, how to live, how to act, how to behave properly. Now, so some friend asking me about this inheritance, because the other day I mentioned inheritance. And then there's authenticity and so forth, and the honor teacher and so forth. So let me share with you. In the proper Chinese learning system, be it Kung Fu or in Buddhist learning, you always need to have the inheritance. If you don't have the inheritance, there's no such thing as authentic. I cannot say, well, I'm authentic. I'm authentic. Authentic of what? Okay. Now you have the inheritance, you have the authentic. It doesn't mean that you are the grandmaster, you are the best of the world, you are the #1 fighter of the world. It is not. Inheritance and authentic, meaning that you really know what is going on inside there. If it's an art, you know the inside out of the art. Okay. Now, for example, so this is the Buddhism. Okay, so here Hendrik Santo, this is my Dharma name. I'm a Buddhist, born in this, in Indonesia, have received the transmissions of the 5 lay precepts. Okay, after examinations and approved, has vowed to uphold them to the end of his life without transgressiveness, and then precept transmitting master. This is the very basic of a Buddhist. The #1 very basic of the Buddhist is to take the 5 precepts. There are monk 5 precepts and the layman 5 precepts. So I took it, I have to vow, and I have to have a teacher who transmit it to me, transmit this precepts. Precept is sila in Sanskrit Indian language, sila. And this sila has, if it's from China, it has to come down like from Bodhidharma, every generation passing down, transmitting the precept. You don't take it really lightly on this accepting or vowing to uphold to get the transmissions of the sila. Because sila is the basic practice of sati, mindfulness. If you take the 5 precepts, that means you have to be all the time mindful on your precepts, on your behavior. For example, you must not lie. For example, you must not steal. Those are what you have to be mindful about. And so what is this got to do with the Buddhist practice? Well, this has everything to do with it. Because at the beginning, you need to aware or mindful of your whatever inside out you do. Only that when you go deeper, then you can mindful about, say, your mind, your thought. You raise, the thought raise, and the thought fade away. And you are going to realize or attain the state of you be able to experience that this world is impermanent and we actually don't have control on like our life, like the when it's going to rain or it's going to stop raining. And also because of that, we know there is no self, there's no me. And if you get into that, and even when you are dreaming, you can have this, you can see this impermanence, suffering, dukkha, and there's no self, then that is the time you enter into Satopana, the first level. of the fourth level to raise up to Arahant. This is not easy stuff. So the beginning is start with precepts. You need to take precepts. And you practice your what? Your samatha. Samatha is to boost your sati, which is your mindfulness. And while you're practicing precepts, actually, you are doing what? Vipassana. You contemplate all day long, every instance with your sati. And then you see, oh, everything is come and goes, is impermanent. My thought is come and goes. And in our world, it is impermanent, and there's no such thing as me. There's a permanent. So that's how there is, okay? So you need to have this transmission and this proper teaching. Even at the Buddhist, it's not about philosophy. Okay, you need to know things inside out, and you need to have your vow and your commitment. Same thing in Wing Chun. Okay, so my transmission, for example, is the transmissions. The Yikam is from the Li Man Mao Anti Qing, and then it passed down to who until me. Okay, until my late teacher Cho Hong Choi, until me. And you can see from letters and everything, all the proof of transmissions. So that is called inheritance. And only you have that, and you can talk about authenticity. We cannot just go boasting, oh, I am this, I am that, like people who boasting about the Buddhas, or I am Sotapanna, which is the first level Arahant. I have a mindfulness, I have this philosophy, I'm emptiness, but you never even take a precepts. Okay? So we need to know, for anybody who's serious, want to learn about Chinese martial arts and the Zen Buddhism, the Zen Buddhisms, and all this Chinese authentic thing, you always want to ask about the authenticity, the transmissions, the inheritance, and then the authenticity, because it passed down one generation to generation, who teach who, what, and all these details. Now, one thing we need to know about is this is usually people love to talk about it even in a movie. 尊师重道, okay, or honor the teacher and extreme truth. What is this? Well, this is very easy to experience. For example, after we graduate from high school, and some of our classmates become multi-billionaire. Some of them probably even win Nobel Prize. Some of them become the top scientists. Okay. Now, when we have, say, the high school reunion, you can see even those top scientists, multi-billionaire, when they get to the school, they respect the teacher in high school who taught them. Okay. The teacher remember them, and they remember the teacher. They are not going to say, you know what, I am the great scientist now. Teacher, at that time, you flung my physics. Now we want to compete. Do you want to compete with me? See whether your physics is better than me or not. You don't. You go to high school reunion. You see your teacher who take care of you, who help you. You respect them. You honor them. So the Chinese is very important on this. If a person, they want to learn something, if they don't have this characteristic, the Chinese is saying that this type of person who not be able to drink the water and know where the water comes. Okay. And you know that this type of person will never go too far. So this is the basic of the character, proper character of a student. Or even not a student, you go somewhere, you learn something from somebody. And you need to be able to give respects for when once upon a time people help you and those. It's not after people help you, you just forget about it and then you're going to try to step on somebody when you are strong. Not to mention that, are you really strong? Okay. So it's about human behavior. I believe that it doesn't matter us in the United States or in ancient China, we all have the same heart for the proper person, proper people like us, right? You go to high school reunion, you met your old teacher, they are all really old now. Even you are the CEO of the corporate, you know how to behave properly with kindness and with love and with care. That's what is 尊师重道. So let's not keeping talking about this honor teacher and extreme truth. Or sometimes even demand the student to do that, like a cult leader. But they themselves do not walk their talk. But it is just using this term, the Chinese term, as a mean to try to control the student. Now there's another term, 欺师灭祖, which is I want to share with you. 欺师灭祖 apply to, okay, so in English is deceiving the master and destroying the ancestor. This type of person usually is actually, how to say that, is mentioned in the inheritance and authenticity. Deceiving the master and destroying the ancestor is for the people, say, learn a little bit, and then start to become, to promote themselves, to become like the king of the art they learn. And then the twisting around on what is the inheritance, which they don't even know. So that is called 欺师灭祖. So hopefully this clear for you. If you learn something, you always ask for who transmit this to who. You cannot say, no, I cannot say like, oh, you learn this from Hendrik. This is Hendrik. This is the authentic. Well, if you learn Wing Chun from Hendrik, you want to know where is the Wing Chun from Hendrik come from. That is about inheritance. And you need to know who passed everything down to Hendrik, or Hendrik be able to tell you everything in specific or not. That's on the authenticity. So you have the history, you have the technology, into details. You can open everything under the sun. There's about the inheritance and authenticity. And you, of course, have to walk your talk. Like in the case of the precepts. You don't have to be Buddha, but you know what is going on. And thus, respect the teacher is a must for, we nice or kind human, proper human. As for deceiving the master and destroy the ancestor, meaning you're twisting around whatever you don't know. That is what we need to not get close to it, not even avoid it. Not get close to it, because if you get put into the category of the 欺师灭祖, in the history of China, you're going to stay there forever. Okay. So even like the ancient emperor or the ancient scholar, they don't want to get into this deceiving the master and destroying ancestor class. because you're gonna put your name down in the history, and at every generations in the history, people look down at you because you are no good people. Okay, so that is how about the inheritance and authentic mean that if you look at that, all this thing boil down to it is we need to be honest, we need to walk our talk, and we need to uh, be kind and careful and respect people. It's just a common human practice. If one is not capable for this, then how can one learn? Okay.